CDR, Crash Data Recorder. Some are called EDRs, Event Data Recorders. There's a wide range and types of these kinds of devices, all of which have the basic and same functions. All vehicles have one. Since around the 80s, these recorders are installed as basic equipment. They record the vehicle's sensor readings, braking, speeding, turning, engine RPMs, and a lot more. Recording that activity at the time of collision and through normal activities. This is Caesar's truck, Crash Data Recorder, page 1 of 8. You'll see on this first page under the comments, the tires that were on Caesar's truck are listed. Any tire that is larger or smaller than your vehicle's normal stock tire will alter your actual speed versus your indicated speed. Cesar Martinez Jr. was well aware of that.
Back on our time to speak well.
Cesar, before you operated the truck, did anyone ever alert you to the fact that the speedometer that was registered, or the speed rather that was registering on the speedometer, wouldn't be the actual speed of the vehicle, given the modifications to the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who told you that?
My dad.
When did he tell you, and when did he tell you?
Well, he was telling me about it before I started driving that truck, before he would take me out. And then when he took me out to like the open, like where there's no like traffic, he told me about it again. And then he would pretty much give me a talk about it every time I got the truck.
Captain Hector Leal refused the request for a qualified accident investigator. He released the truck back to the Martinezes. This was before the police case report summary was even given to the Cameron County District Attorney. It doesn't seem right to release the evidence before the final decision from the District Attorney's office. If you can't keep the truck in its entirety, you can at least remove and secure the CDR box until needed. The police turned the case report summary over to the District Attorney's Office in February of 2010. March 18, 2010, the District Attorney's Office declines the case. Now they hold this information and they say that it's still in play to not only our lawyers, but the Guerrero's lawyers also. So the police department goes along with this to deny anybody getting copies of these records, because under the open records request, all they had to do is state was the case was still under investigation. We were able to secure Caesar's truck legally and have trained professionals download and analyze the information from its CDR. This copy of the CDR report has some notes written by the technician. At the bottom of the first page, you'll see he writes about the truck's engine RPM speed being 50% of what was registered. Don't confuse this with the actual miles per hour speed of the truck. This is a readout of what Caesar's CDR recorded. The parameter recording box in the middle of the page, under seconds before AE, it counts down from 1 to 5 seconds. This is the 5 seconds counting down backwards from the impact of the vehicles. The vehicle speed of 55 miles per hour is what the truck's speedometer was reading. But the Martinezes never had the truck's speedometer recalibrated for the larger size tires they had installed on it. So at its top speed, Caesar would have been doing 69.84 miles per hour. That's damn near 70 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone on wet road conditions.
Can you tell us what the weather conditions were the night of the collision?
They're clear.
Had it been raining?
No, sir.
Do you wear eyewear or any type of, do you have any hearing problems at all?
No, sir.
Okay, and you don't wear any prescriptive eyewear, either contacts or glasses?
No, sir.
What were the weather conditions the night that the collision occurred?
I think you can get a better thing when you see your police report.
Do you remember what it is?
It was a warm afternoon and it was a dry afternoon.
Okay, no rain at all?
No whatsoever.
Alright, you see this position right here? There are the overhangs of the pump, and this is going to be bay 4. This position where Samantha's car is right here is very important because there is a time reaction distance. You are covering a certain distance still while this process is taking place. Perception reaction distance. This is the total distance your vehicle travels when you perceive a threat, and then you react to that threat by taking your foot off the gas and applying it to the brake. It's common practice for accident reconstructionists to use a standard reaction time of 1.5 seconds. This is what I use along with Caesar's speed to get the perception reaction distance back from the illumination of his taillights. This is a bird's eye view of Loop 499 and Grimes. Okay, this is the last 5 seconds of Cesar Martinez Jr.'s CDR that we talked about earlier. Let me quick show you that. Last 5 seconds out. These little green lines here, the smaller ones, are dividing the area he traveled in seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 is included with the intersection. So if you take from the video his brake lights, see that? It's when his brake lights came on. So his perception and his reaction happened back off the video. Okay, so we take the area that his brake lights came on, see where his car is, and place it approximately in that distance from the brake lights, and then use his speed and go back and see where he reacted to whatever he was applying his brakes to. A rough estimate on where his vehicle was. So this black line represents that distance he traveled while he was making the decision and reacting to whatever he saw. So you take his truck and you put it back here from the lights, and this is the distance he traveled. He decided to hit his brakes way back here from the light. So if we're going to take Caesar's truck back and put it here, we're going to take Samantha's car and put it back where it was. Samantha's car would have been behind these lines and not even in the intersection yet. So he's already thinking to react to something else. Now you got to remember, 5 seconds out, it shows his throttle gaining rapidly to 75% or 76% of throttle. So he picks up a lot of speed, and that's pretty much what you do if you're going to run a changing yellow light. And then he realizes probably he can't make it through, and he's going to hit the brakes. So his truck's back here once again, and Samantha's vehicle is 1, 2, 3 car lengths from the intersection. It's not even in any danger or in the intersection. Now this is not her car, of course. This is a daytime shot. This just so happens to be there, but it does give a good size reference to the lanes, and that looks like a vehicle similar to what Samantha was driving. Caesar and Shelby both say that Samantha did not have a blinker on. She was not using her turn signal. Or you would probably say that because that would then put part of the blame not knowing she was going to turn. We have footage that says different. Alright, so that puts Samantha back here, and she is using her blinker. So what is he hitting his brakes about? Way before the speeder here, Cesar Martinez Jr., hit any of his sensors, Samantha and the only eyewitnesses the police refused to use have already activated all of theirs, so she had the right to go. If you look through the bays of this light, I am pointing in the same direction as the camera that captured the video. It's directly behind me, and I'm shooting as if it was low to the ground. It's not much higher, that's why you can't see these traffic signal lights. And you see the 3 car links where I was talking about Samantha would have been when Caesar hit his brakes or made the decision to hit his brakes. These pink arrows are pointing to the crosswalk lines that go across. These cars here are waiting here at the light for it to change. You see the front of a truck which is circled, and I estimated about the body size in this circle. It's a big vehicle. There's another SUV right there, and that's where I would believe that Samantha's vehicle would be. So she's far from the intersection, hasn't even turned yet, so he has no worry that she's going to turn because he said that she didn't have a blinker, even though we know that's a lie now. So here's the midsection, and here's the left section. This X right here is where his truck would have been when he decided to brake. So it takes him that time to think, process, and moving his freaking foot off the gas and onto the brake to this distance right here. This first white truck is where his brake light comes on. So he was reacting to not Samantha because she was way over here. Why would he be hitting his brakes in? He was reacting to the light. Now, this chart right here is a layout of what is called the indecision zone. It's also similar to the dilemma zone. It's a certain distance from a traffic signal light that a driver will either stop or go. Its calculation is based on the posted speed limit. Regardless of the zone that he was in, traveling at that high speed on a wet pavement, he would never have been able to stop. High-speed approaches. Approaches with speeds in excess of 35 miles per hour are considered high-speed approaches. Several problems associated with high-speed approaches require special consideration in setting signal timing intervals. For example, it may be difficult for a driver to decide whether to stop or proceed when approaching a yellow changing indication. An abrupt stop may result in a rear-end collision, while the decision to proceed through the intersection may cause a right-angle accident or a traffic violation. Investigation pending on the speed of the Chevrolet truck as a possible contributing factor. A qualified accident reconstruction investigator is needed. So first it says an investigation pending. So they're trying to make a decision whether they should do it or not, or it's already in the process. I don't know what the hell he's talking about here. But they don't do it, and somehow they pass it off that they did do it. As a qualified accident reconstruction investigator, don't they have these people? I mean, isn't this a police department? As part of what they do, just like as part of that equipment they should have. Plus the fact have proof that he is speeding. He got his own CDR out of his report, and that information was given to the police department. I personally handed to Yanez along with the statements from Cesar Martinez Jr.'s deposition that he knew about the speed on there, and they refused to call me back after that. They said they would take a look at it and give me a call, and after 3 days of waiting patiently, they never called. So I called them back for the next 2 weeks continuously, left messages, never got a call from them. So they obviously don't want to talk about what happened, but let's just see what they're going to have to say when everybody knows. Okay, so we met with Elizabeth Cruz, the traffic signal supervisor there in Harlingen, and we gave him this statement that I'm about to read you and asked him about it. Now, he said he couldn't talk to me because of the ethics rules at his job there, since he is a city employee, and I understand that, but he also said I can ask him anything about the lights. So I really wanted to know about this statement here, so we were going to file another open records, but we just decided to go this way because we're tired of dealing with Harlingen. They continuously block us on those open records, and then they don't even give us the information we requested. And Cruz is going to log down the traffic light cycles. So this guy says he meets with them. He states the cycles are the same regardless the time of day or night. They are, but there's more to that statement. This is the layout of Grimes Road and 499. You'll see how they're marked. These are the loop sensors that are in the road that pick up your vehicle as you're traveling down the road. When you run over this last one here, now the light knows that there is somebody approaching from there, and they extend all the way across the road. All the information picked up from all these sensors is basically what regulates the lights to change in a pre-programmed way. They're programmed to function the same day and night, but they are manipulated by the vehicles driving over their loop sensors and triggering them so they can serve those lanes. Here's the bottom line. If Caesar would have not been speeding, again for the third time in 9 months, he would have never been anywhere close to that intersection, and Samantha and Amy would still be alive today.